We're live.
Perfect. All righty. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning in into our meeting on December 4th, 2020. But good morning. Happy Friday, guys. I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order at 10:04 a.m. And we'll go ahead and move on to the Pledge of Allegiance. We now give time before the meeting to recognize those who wish to recite the pledge, reminding those in attendance that they're not required to do so. So if you would like to go ahead and do the Pledge of Allegiance with me, you can go ahead and do it on the count of three. 1, 2, and 3. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We did it on time today. Anyway.
I know, huh? Thank you. All righty, guys. Moving on to roll call and establishment of quorum. As me president, I am definitely president. I have our vice president of Manistee Valley Campus, Nicholas Singh.
Present.
Thank you, Nick. Our vice president of San Jacinto Campus, Victoria M. Caballero.
Present.
Perfect. Thank you, Victoria. Our student trustee, Ariana Rodriguez, she will not be present. I have our commissioner of college activities, Janelle Beza.
Here.
Thank you, Janelle. Our commissioner of financial affairs, Yasin Tracy, she is not present. I don't think she is. No. Okay. Moving on to our commissioner of institutional effectiveness, Stephanie Vasquez.
Here.
Thank you, Stephanie. Our commissioner of student equity and cultural affairs, Aaron Gonzalez.
Present.
Thank you, Aaron. Our senator of financial affairs, Thomas Gonzalez.
Present.
Perfect. Thank you, Thomas. Our second senator of financial affairs, Alexis Martinez.
Here.
Thank you, Alexis. Our senator of public relations, Daly Dewitt.
Present.
Thank you, Daly. And lastly, our senator of student equity and cultural affairs, Catherine Chamberlain.
Present.
Thank you, Catherine. Moving on to our SGA advisors, I have our first SGA advisor and associate dean of student services, Mike Cardenas.
Present.
Perfect. Thank you. Moving on to our first SGA advisor, our second SGA advisor, Jose Hernandez.
Present.
Thank you. Our third SGA advisor, Suzanne Ortega.
Present.
And lastly, our SGA advisor, Marisela Magaña.
Here.
Thank you. Moving on to the approval of minutes for November 25th, 2020. I did send these out in our email for this week. So going to go ahead and get a motion of approval for these minutes.
I can motion.
Perfect. Thank you, Daly. And can I get a second for that?
I second.
Okay. Was Janelle or was that Alexis?
It could be Alexis.
Okay.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Perfect. Thank you, guys. Moving on to our board reports and information items. So all reports are limited to be 1 minute each. Additional time can be allotted with a motion and a second from the Senate. So starting with our advisory reports. Any advisors would like to report this week?
Yeah, I have some stuff, but I'll let the other folks chime in first.
Okay.
Good morning. I have nothing to report this week.
Perfect. Thank you, Jose.
I don't have anything either, but I just want to let you guys know that you've made it this far. You have 1 more week left before finals. I just want to wish everyone luck, good luck, and power through for the rest of the semester. You guys can all do it.
Thank you. And I just want to wish everyone a happy last formal SGA meeting as well. We will have one next week, but that's kind of our fun one that we were just speaking on before we got on here. So I also wanted to put on your radar that we have one more Eagle Talk series, and what better way to end that than with our SGA giving an update and chatting about all matters SGA related. So that's something that I know we're getting ready for our break, but one more event that we have from all of you, and then hopefully you all can get a good rest. So that's it. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. And Maya, go ahead and take it away.
Honestly, it was echoing everything that I was pretty confident our other advisors were gonna give you all kudos for, basically just having a great semester, persevering under really extraordinary circumstances that I don't know that we'll hopefully ever have to experience again, hopefully not in our lifetimes anyway. but yeah, I think you all have just the fact that you're here is a testament to just, you know, your ability to persevere. But I also want to, you know, honor and note that just if, you know, just because folks aren't here doesn't necessarily mean that they also aren't persevering, right? Everyone is doing what they need to do to take care of themselves. And we absolutely honor that and applaud that. And yeah, so I just want everybody to take care of themselves as y'all know how to do, and do something joyful in the next couple of weeks, especially after finals. And just be careful, you know, and just make good decisions, as I know all you will. Hopefully you'll continue to be ambassadors for practicing and following, you know, our public health guidelines and our CDC guidelines that we all have with regard to the ongoing pandemic. It's really scary right now. I can't emphasize that enough. Everybody's hearing about it. Our healthcare workers. I also want to give a shout out to our nurses and our frontline health workers right now. I don't think our nurses get enough credit for literally being the lifeblood and backbone of our healthcare system. I would argue even in some ways more so than doctors. No shade to doctors though, because I have some doctors that are good family members. So anyway, just take care of yourselves, take care of our healthcare workers by frankly practicing social distancing, physical distancing, I should say, and wearing masks. That's it, you know, bottom line, just wear a mask, y'all. And God bless, even though that is a separation of church and state. I mean, God in the in the non-denominational way. That's it.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Maya. Moving on to our executive officer reports. Any officers would like to report this week?
No, I don't have any reports, but I want to also say kudos to everybody. Everybody's done amazing work. We're holding on so far. Just about about 2 weeks left, and then we got it, guys. We can hang in there. Again, amazing work that everybody's done this semester. I can't wait to come back next semester, do the same thing, and come back even better.
Perfect. Thank you, Victoria. Moving on, any executive officer reports?
Yeah, I have a quick report. So in our last IE meeting that was on Tuesday, we basically discussed changes on bylaws and the Constitution, but because it is a long process, we will probably be meeting once before the retreat, so we can hopefully make those changes and discuss furthermore. And also, we will be reviewing the relief fund application, but that concludes my report.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Any other executive officer reports? Okay. Just on my end, I just want to, you know, also give kudos. I know this is on our kudos section, but just give kudos as well to you guys for being here, for being present. This is definitely an environment that we did not expect to be in. I know that for a fact for me. I was expecting us to be on campus, for us to have our barbecues, for us to have our events that we would on campus. But it hasn't been that way. And I think that with COVID here in place, it's definitely made me feel grateful of the things that I have. Definitely made me appreciate life, and just take you know, a minute to really appreciate everything that I have in my life. And I really thank you guys as well for being here present, even in this virtual environment. I applaud you guys for making it this far, and I'm definitely excited to see what we can do in the spring. And I'm definitely optimistic to see what we can do together in the spring. So I just want to give kudos to all of you guys for doing such an amazing job, just trying to communicate with one another and really working together as a team. So that's all on my end. I know one thing I did want to just mention to you guys briefly. We will have our last student town hall of the semester next week. It'll be December 9th from 11 to 12 p.m., same time. I want to echo what Maya mentioned in our last meeting, which is I would like to challenge you all to really invite 5 friends that are not in SGA, that are not in, you know, extracurricular activities. Try to invite 5 friends, maybe 5 classmates that you know, and let the word out on these town halls. It's a really great opportunity for them to really voice their concerns. I want this town hall to really be voiced as a safe space for students. I don't want students to feel like, oh, if I say something, you know, my professor or my instructor or you know, so-and-so is going to come after me. Now, this is a safe space for all students to really come and bring in their thoughts, bring in their ideas, to let us know what's going on. I would really love to see as many students there as possible, and I challenge you all to share it to 5 friends you know, and hopefully they're able to make it. We're definitely going to make sure that the flyer is promoted. I know I sent it out to Daily, and I'm going to go ahead and let you all have that flyer as well. But please share that. I would really love to see as many students as possible, and as well as have your presence as well in those town halls. And that'll be next week on Wednesday, December 9th at 11 a.m. But that does it for me. Any other executive officer reports before I go ahead and move on?
Yes, good morning, and I appreciate you sharing all that information. I'm really excited to launch, the Student Equity Cultural Affairs Committee meeting next Thursday at 5 o'clock to 5:30. It's just a great opportunity to get the ball rolling a little bit and kind of taking a space to talk about our institutions and maybe the inequities, and creating these plans and these frameworks to have more equity within the campus. And I feel like anybody is welcome, and I encourage everyone to attend, because this is a great opportunity to share your input on what you might feel is a great way to kind of improve the campus in that way. So yeah, I'm new to this, but I'm slowly learning, and it's a lot, but it's really fun to really get down and really work on our community and in our school as well. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you, Aaron. I look forward to attending that meeting. I hope you all can make it. And if you have any questions, go ahead and just let Aaron know about anything regarding his scheduled time for his committee meeting. But moving on, if there are no other executive officer reports, I'll go ahead and move on to our legislative reports. Any senators would like to report this week?
I'll go, Brian.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so good morning, everybody. I'm just again also giving a kudos to everybody. Pushed through. We're almost to the end of the semester, and we got it. Try to de-stress yourselves and definitely enjoy the holiday season because Christmas is coming. Woohoo! This week for PR, I've been able to get things out such as movie night. That was this week. I also was able to promote things like applications for UCs are due today, this Friday, and Cal States are due on the 15th. And those were also pushed back. And then certain things, again, such as Marty Sedla mentioned earlier, Eagle Talks. We also had registration start this week, and overall just like de-stressing for finals. So that is the end of my report.
Thank you so much, Daily. Great job. Moving on, any other executive legislative reports?
Yeah, I just have a quick report.
Okay, go ahead, Gaston.
For starters, I'm kind of sad that this is our last meeting. Like, it has been such a great semester, and even though we have been in a really unforeseen environment, really, like, no one would have imagined this. We have all persevered, and we've all become a good family of SGA, and I feel like we all need to put ourselves a pat on the back for that. Like, we've stayed together during a hard time, and it's really hard for everyone, and it affects everyone in a different way. So pat on the back for all of you advisors, everyone listening. You all are doing really great. And also, back to my report. I attended the IE meeting, and it was really great. We went over some plans of changing the Constitution, as Stephanie mentioned, and I just wanted to say I'm really excited for that, to hear about what's going to happen, and that concludes my report.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Gaston.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, any other executive legislative reports before I go ahead and move on? Alrighty, moving on to our virtual events. I know we did have that movie night going on, but Janelle, do you want to go ahead? I think it's just the Eagle Talks that we have left, correct?
Yes, and we on our last SGA meeting as well. So yeah, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Janelle. Moving on to our SGA feedback, kudos, confessions, and concerns. This time is reserved among SGA legislators related to feelings, thoughts, intergroup dynamics, and group norms. Items on the agenda may not be discussed during this time. So yeah, how's everyone doing? I know, Maya, you can go ahead. I know you just sent me a message, but go ahead.
Yeah. So I just really quickly, I wanted to actually give some kudos to a couple individuals this week before I forgot, and because it's our last meeting, I don't know that I say this enough in our SGA meetings, but I want to give a major shout out to our advisors, our other advisors on the line, Maricela, Suzanne, and Jose. For just being really outstanding, I think, support systems for you all, and I hope you all, but also just the office as a whole. This office would not run if it wasn't for, frankly, the three of them, and also not to leave out Tina and Deja, our administrative associates and support system as well. This is not an easy job to do right now, y'all. I mean, you all as students are experiencing this, but we as staff are also experiencing a lot of the same things that you all are experiencing. So I just want to give them a special shout out. They work really hard. They have families. They have their own stuff that they're dealing with, but they do the best they can to show up and support you all. And I think they do an outstanding job. So thank you very much to you all. And I also want to give a shout out to just our executive officers here on the line. So Brian, for being a great president and leading this team this semester. I think you really held up the ship, so to speak. I also want to give a shout out to all the folks that have joined us new. So some of our new officers that haven't necessarily been a part of the team, now you are, and so we're not going to let you go. And I also want to honor our student trustee, Ariana. You know, she's not here right now, but I just want to give a special shout out to her as well. She's been really outstanding as one of our representatives and really, I think, always keeping you all at the heart of everything that she's done so far. So anyway, just a shout out to y'all, and I look forward to working with some of you that I haven't really got to know yet as much because I was out for a lot of the semester, but I'll be here in the spring, and I look forward to a little more.
Hey, Brian, this is John Colson. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay, all right, thank you. And I hope this is the appropriate time under SGA feedback and kudos and confessions. But, you know, I just wanted to echo everything that Maya had just mentioned. And to just share, you know, all of you are just such a phenomenal group of student leaders. And I was I'm in another statewide webinar now on Real California, or Real College California. It's about the food insecurity initiative of which we joined. And, you know, there's a lot of good things that are going on at the college. I just want to thank you for all of the efforts that SGA has given this year. And, you know, someone else earlier said, you know, that through this pandemic, you know, all of you have stayed together, and that's so important. And I'll tell you something, you know, this event this year will be one that none of you and none of us really will ever forget. And that's a good thing. And I would also say, you know, as young people, I know that our next generation of leaders is well at hand and is well prepared. And I would just want to encourage you, as maybe a generation that's ahead of you, never lose faith and never lose confidence in the democracy that is the United States. I think we saw and we continue to see it in action, you know, on a federal level after the election. And I will say that democracy gets messy sometimes, but folks, it works. So we are all glad, and this is just a way of encouragement. All of you have just done such a phenomenal job, and I'll tell you, it is a sincere honor to be able to be here now with each of you, to be able to work with you, and to see what fine leadership that you are providing for so many of our other students. And while we continue to be virtual sometimes, or all the time now, it may not feel the same, and it doesn't, but it's very important. So the leadership all of you have displayed has just been phenomenal. I will say that we listened We're working on the commencement front towards solidifying our drive-through with the wonderful plans and maps that Brian showed last time I was with you. And Brian, if you could just make sure you email those to us, is very good. Also, we are working with Professor John Torres on a lands recitation for our commencement, and so many great ideas there. So I just wanted to close out. What a wonderful group. It's been a year of upheaval. It's been a year of uncertainty, but the one thing is certain, and that is the future of leadership with fine students like each of you. And I'll just continue to say, if there's ever anything that any of you need from me or my office, please do not hesitate to reach out. So I'll get off now, but I thought this was an appropriate time to bring some praise and kudos to each of the fine leaders that you are. So thanks so much, Brian.
Thank you so much, Dr. Colson. We really appreciate you being on the line. And thank you for giving us your words. We really do appreciate it. Any kudos, confessions, concerns from anyone else? For me personally, just once again, echoing with Maya and Dr. Colson has said, I'm really proud of, what we've done this semester. I know it hasn't been, our usual typical semester that we would, but I know that this year will definitely be memorable to all of us, especially to me. I think it's definitely made me really appreciate more what leadership is, what teamwork is. And I am so just beyond, grateful to have known each and every one of you, whether it's our new SGA members that joined us this year or, our older folks that have been in SGA. I am extremely grateful to have known you guys, even in this virtual environment. And I'm excited and I'm optimistic about the future. And I know that we'll definitely do great things in the spring. So yeah, if you guys need anything, please let our advisors know. I know they are here for us. And just echoing again what Maya said, none of this would be possible without the advisors as well, and the amazing and the hard work that they do for us. I just want to go ahead and give a quick kudos to them because they really do work so hard, whether it's being present in events or creating, I don't know what happens behind the scenes, but I definitely know it's a lot. And I just want to go ahead and really just give that kudos to them because they really do create something special for us as well. But that's on my end. If anyone has any kudos, confessions, or concerns, you can go ahead. This is your time.
Brian, happy belated birthday. I know you had your birthday recently. So
thank you.
Happy belated birthday. I'm pretty sure everybody else means it too. But we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you for doing everything that you do. You are amazing. You are like literally, your drive and dedication is what I aspire to gain so that I can lead one day in your position. It's so admirable. So thank you for all the hard work that you do. Thank you for putting your heart into SGA. I feel like we were lacking for a little bit, but we came back and, we didn't let this quarantine stop us, and it didn't stop you. So thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thank you guys. Especially our ICC presidents, Nick and Victoria. I think you guys have done an amazing job. I haven't been able to attend your meetings just because I've been a bit busy, but I know that you guys put a lot of work into those as well. And there's not much kudos that I have given you guys as well in terms of ICC. So I want to just congratulate you and Nick for just really being out there for our clubs, for our students. So thank you guys as well. You guys are doing phenomenal, and I really do aspire to keep on just pushing through. And I'm hoping that you guys also push through even in this virtual environment and this unprecedented time that we're in. But I truly appreciate you guys. I know we did have one concern. I'm not sure if Maya would like to go ahead and bring that one up.
Are you talking about the public comment?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
never
okay.
mind. Never mind. I'll go ahead and wait for that one.
Okay. Well, it's the next item, so yeah, it's up to you.
I have one last kudos.
Okay.
If that's
Go ahead,
okay.
Keston. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to tell everyone that, the holidays are going to look a lot different this year over our break, but remember that this is just a time in our life. How do I explain this? My dad always says that when an historical event happens, it's really just a small portion in our lifetime. I know it's going to be hard, but remember to take care of yourself over the break and remember to give yourself a pat on the back when you need it. I know for me specifically, it's going to be a lot different this year. There's been some loss in my family with everything aside, but we can do it. It's going to be a little different this year, but remember you're loved, you're cared about, and it's going to be okay. This is just a small time in our life. Even though it's hard, it's just that, a time in our life. That's it.
Perfect. Thank you, Keston. Well said. I totally agree with you. Well said. Any other kudos, confessions, or concerns before I go ahead and move on? Alrighty, moving on then to our public forum. SGA advisors, do we have any public comment on non-agenda or agenda items?
Yeah, I can comment, team. So we did get a comment, or more of a request, to be from a business owner who has a product that is basically trying to pitch a discount item. Uh-oh, I don't know what happened to the. Oh no. Can y'all hear me?
We could hear you, Maya. We just can't see you. It's like a dark.
Yeah, I think my screen is not, it looks like it's going to crash. So if I crash, I'll come back.
Did we lose you, Maya?
Product. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it just broke up for a second.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to try to, you know what, Suzanne, why don't you give a brief summary, and then I'll log off and log back on, and then give you just a couple thoughts.
Okay, cool.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, so we got a public comment from a business owner, like Maya mentioned, that we had previously spoke to about possible discount card program, and this one is an app that we would have to manage. So we spoke with Brian about it, and I don't know if Brian, you want to talk a little bit on that too, but we decided that we were going to try to wait until we're on campus, and it seems like it'll be a better opportunity for students to use and utilize. So I don't know if Brian, you want to mention anything else.
I'm back.
Yeah,
y'all.
definitely. I was briefly as well, just notified about this. All I can say is that I do think I agree with the advisors. I think it would be a best time to probably maybe discuss this sometime in the fall of next year, when I feel like it would be more appropriate. That's all I know so far, and that's my idea. But maybe you all think a different thing. I'm not sure if Maya would also like to provide more input on that one as well.
Yeah, I think, I'm uncomfortable going into too much detail right now and really, frankly, discussing it any further, because it is a public comment on a non-agenda item. If the group wants to put it on the agenda, we can make it more formal and have a formal conversation. We certainly can. I'll be honest, I don't advise that the SGA move forward with this request. I think it's more appropriate to do it in the fall, considering our strict physical health protocols right now. We're really not supposed to be actually out and about, frankly. That will save lives. We know it will. So, that's my advice formally, but certainly the SGA can make any decisions that they feel they need to.
Perfect. And I believe we also have one more public comment. I just forwarded this email to all of you. If you recall, we had Ms. Paez Mendez. She is working with, Dr. Colson on our commencement. She was here last time, just letting us know about ideas and what we could do for commencement. And one of the things that we did, that she sent out to SGA, is that she's hoping that if, probably SGA would be interested in selecting 3 to 5 themes that we could use for commencement. And we want to make sure that whether we choose from the list that she has provided or really create one of our own, we want to make sure that she has something back no later than December 18th. So my task for all of you, I'm going to go ahead and just show you that list. I'm pretty sure I forwarded to all of you just right now. But let's go ahead and work with something right now, and hopefully decide in our next, fun meeting next week, just to decide that way we can let Ms. Paez Mendez as well as Dr. Colson know what we're thinking in SGA in regards to themes. But I'm going to go ahead and see if I can go ahead and share my screen for a bit. Maricela, is it okay if I can share my screen? Perfect. Alrighty, let me go ahead and share that real quick. So this is what we received. These are the themes that we got a list of. I'm pretty sure you all have it in your email as well. These are just, themes that I've come across. We can definitely make our own. I think that would be really special as well. Thinking about this year, how it's been, and what it could mean for our graduates who went through this experience online. So I definitely think that these are great themes. I'm gonna make sure that you guys read them all throughout your time throughout this week. But these are past themes that MSGC has chosen. For 2019 and 2020, the theme was Eagles Rise. And before that, you can see other things that they used before. But I definitely think that it would be great for my recommendation would be that we all make a special and unique theme that's not listed here. But maybe we can go ahead and adjust one. But overall, these are the themes that are available. But please, I'm going to make sure for next week's meeting, at least have 3 chosen or 3 written down that you think would be great. And I want to make sure we can go ahead and discuss those next week. That way we can have something solid, and I can go ahead and send that out way before the due date that Ms. Paez Mendez is asking. That we should have more time as well, in case there's more feedback or more conversation. That way we can have that set in stone. But any questions regarding this? I know it's a public comment, but I just wanted to go ahead and bring that up to you all. All righty. Maricela, can we get the agenda? Thank you, I really appreciate it. And Caston, yes, we can create our own. So that's why I want to say, if you want to choose 3 from the list, or you want to write 3 on your own, go ahead and write those. And the next week, I want everyone to at least have 3. That way we can go ahead and discuss about it and hopefully choose 3 next week. That way we can go ahead and finalize that. Perfect. Alrighty. Any other public comment? I don't think so, right, advisors? Perfect. Alrighty. Moving on to our discussion and action items. The following items may be discussed and voted on at this time. 8 minutes per topic with 1 minute per speaker. Members of the public may speak after the discussion by the voting body has closed and before a vote by the voting body is taken. So first on our action items, we do have discussion and approval of $1,500 to fund the Art with Impact Active Mind events, which will take place in the spring of 2021. I don't know if our advisors would like to go ahead and add more information on this one. This is the Art with Impact program that was brought up in our last meeting. I don't know if there was any changes to the 1,500, but it's just approving that program. But anything else from my advisors that they would like to go ahead and add for this one?
Hey, Brian. I have nothing else to add, but I'm happy to take questions. I know Rafina did propose this, I think it was 2 weeks ago, just regarding some activities, virtual activities in the spring geared towards mental health, which we definitely want to support active minds in this initiative. So yeah, I mean, we got a discount, 1,500. It used to be 3,000, so that's some good news there. But yeah, I have nothing else to add unless anyone has any questions.
I have a couple questions on it.
Yeah, Nick.
So it's all virtual, correct, for spring of 2021?
Yes.
what exactly is the cost for $1,500 then for the Active Minds events? Like if it's all virtual?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So they have, they're hosting films throughout the month of March, and there's going to be conversations behind with those films. So like experts in the field of mental health, like counselors, right, that work with this nonprofit program. But while that's being planned, we'll have experts available also, like through exclusive like Facebook groups. Ways to reach these experts as well in regards to mental health, having those conversations. So there's little things that are happening along the way before March, and that's part of what's included with that fee. So
Wait,
just extra additional support.
So we're paying the $1,500 to like have the people come talk essentially?
Yes, essentially, yeah. For the space, which is open to all our students, and it's kind of things happening, like say from January to March. Like we'll have that support available in January. It's not just like a one-time thing in March. So it kind of happens throughout the planning of these events in March.
I just feel 1,500 for talking would be a bit much, but that's just me.
I did have a chance to check out one of their events. So they host them virtually. This was during the pandemic. And I encourage you, Nick, if you have the chance and if there's anyone coming up, I just registered as a guest, and they allowed me to participate in their event for that day. And it was what they did was they compiled different videos, and then they had counselors, they had breakout sessions. So it's just basically that particular event was dealing with it's heavy conversations, I'd like to say, but there you get debriefed with professionals, and it was really informative. So if you have the chance, definitely I encourage you. I believe Jose, I included the link to check it out, and then you could gauge whether you feel like this would be something you'd be willing to go for or not too.
I have a comment too, Jose, but I'll go last.
No, so I was just, thank you, Maricela. I was just going to mention, I did share the link to the direct website. So I encourage you, SGA, to check it out. If there's some hesitation from the group, we certainly don't have to approve anything today. I did just want to mention that. But so I'll just say that.
So we talked about this. Is this the first time this formal amount's been on the agenda? Is that right, Brian? Or Jose?
Yes.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. So just to give, again, kind of a wider scope of, in addition to what my fellow advisors have given, in terms of knowledge as to what this really is going to entail. The cost of this originally was $3,000, if I recall. And so Nick, just to give you some background, this type of amount, I know it sounds, like what, $3,000 or $1,500? Oh my goodness, for just to show some films and, Zoom it, right? Like folks don't have to travel. They don't have to do all these other things, but you have to also remember, this isn't this is somebody that's an expert in the field. This is someone that, or I should say, this is an organization that do this work all the time with multiple colleges. So this is actually, their specialty, right? In much the same way that we would invite a speaker on campus and we would basically pay for, their expertise. That's essentially what we're doing with this cost. I thought 3,000 was a little much. And so that's why initially when we first were presented with this last year, if I'm not mistaken, Jose, wasn't it last year? Didn't we have a request, or Suzanne? Y'all remember?
I don't remember about last year, but I mean, I don't know if Suzanne remembers.
Yeah, we did. We had, in fact, that's why I asked Maricela. It wasn't directly to the SGA. It was, we've gotten a cold email. I get a lot of emails, y'all. So like, because we're on listservs, there's a lot of different vendors that do this type of work, right? Like they come to campuses, they speak on whatever it is their specialties or their expertise. And so I happened to get an email from this exact business. And at the time, I think the cost was $3,000. I thought that was a little high. And so I wanted to get some more background. And so I asked Maricela, it's the event that she mentioned. And Maricela, are you still on the line? I don't know if she is or not. She may not be.
Yeah.
Oh, what college was that? Remind me, was that Cypress or Cerritos that held the event?
It was Cerritos that held it. So it was geared, I'm sure Cerritos promoted it and whatnot. And even though I'm not a Cerritos college student or anything affiliated, I was able to still join. And it was really good. It was really informative. They would show videos and then kind of debrief about what we just watched. And then with this item, I believe that we're still getting access to all of their library. So any events that they've had, students can check them out.
Yeah, so $1,500, to be honest, is actually, I think, a really good deal. I think 3,000 at the time, that 3,000, if I recall, didn't include all of the things that we're actually getting now. So we're actually getting quite a bargain. If they have come to us for 3,000, I still probably would have had some questions and maybe some concerns because of our current state and really us not knowing where, what the budget is going to look like next year either. But I do think this is a decent price. I think it's a worthy cause. Certainly, you all can vote how you see fit, but I just want to give some scope. This is not an excessive cost for what we're getting. This is pretty standard for what folks will charge to provide this type of service for colleges. And again, we spoke on this when the idea was first mentioned. We're really in an absolute extraordinary time when it comes to what folks, and I think, I'll speak from my own experience, mental health is more important now more than ever because of what we're experiencing as a collective society. So I do think, the impact of what this is going to be pretty profound and powerful. So I do advise that you all give this serious consideration. Again, you're free to vote how you choose, but I do think it's a worthy cause. I think the price is sound. I don't think that the SGA is getting taken advantage of. And I think it's going to really provide a really needed service with regard to mental health for our students.
Yeah, and then Maya, if I just want to quickly echo what Maya has mentioned. I think we really need to also work with the experts, right, that know what they're doing, especially when it comes to mental health. And especially during these pandemic times. So that's just something also to just be mindful of. I know we've talked about, wanting to host mental health events and, wanting to do all these things in the spring, which is all great. But that's why I think this is a really great way to kind of get started with that. And why not collaborate with Active Minds, which already do this every spring, right? They have their hand in some sort of mental health activities for students. So yeah, just something to be mindful of.
I have a question. Is this going to be free for students to attend?
Yes. So that the cost includes all that programming. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my perspective on this is, as you all might know, I'm a mental health patient myself. I am bipolar. I see a doctor, and they are expensive. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They are very, very expensive. But for a whole campus to be able to talk to a professional, from my experience, I've been in this community since 2013. This isn't bad. I'm just speaking from someone who's experienced and have been a part of this for a long time. This is not a bad price, to me anyway. Of course, everyone's free to feel how they feel, but I'm just telling how someone who might have experience more than most students our age might have, this is not a bad deal. And for a professional to come to a school with we know how many students we have a lot of students, to be able to see students for free and have these conversations, I don't think it's a bad deal. I think, to put it in perspective, this is actually a really good bargain. So that's my thought.
So Ryan, can I share my screen? Maricela or Suzanne, can you all give me access? I think I have access.
You should be able to share it. Let me know.
Okay, got it. So I'm gonna share my screen here, and hopefully I have a lot of stuff open, so hopefully nothing crashes. Okay, can y'all see this website?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what it is. It's a film screening. So we're getting their library. And my computer, I think, is really weird. Zoom's being funky. So it shows can you all see this without anything? There's nothing obstructing it?
No.
Okay.
You're good.
Okay, so movies with mental health online. So this is what it is. So they're short films that basically, I'm assuming there'll be a moderator, facilitator that comes and screens the film. And then there's discussion afterwards to talk about what the film represents. So for instance, a lot of their films, my understanding is, and feel free, Marisol, to jump in, or Jose, if you guys know more, they're centered on mental health and wellness, right? So it's really about talking about folks. It's frankly things that we all experience, right? Anxiety, depression, feelings of, just not feeling like we're enough, or having emotions, period, right? And not knowing exactly, if the emotions are, weird, or if they're, not normal, right? Like, and the reality is they are normal. Everything we experience is valid. We are valid. And so that's really what the aim, at least my understanding of the programming is. It's talking, I love this quote, talking about it takes the power out of it, right? This quote here, if I spoke to my anxiety, I'd perhaps say, don't leave me because you're part of me, but maybe leave me a bit more of myself, right? So it's really taking out, I think the negative connotation of what it means to have someone, or to have some type of, I even don't frankly like the term mental illness, because I don't think, there's another term that we use, neurodiverse, right? So the brain, it means that we're just built a little different sometimes, and that's absolutely okay. There is nothing wrong with it. I don't even believe that there is a normal, quote unquote. Certainly there is a way we need to function within society, right? There's a way that we need to adhere to societal rules so that we don't hurt each other. But other than that, as long as you're not hurting anyone, do you, right? Do you. And so I think that's what the point of this whole programming is meant to be. The name of the project is called Art with Impact, right? So, full disclosure, my background is film studies, film and media studies. So I'm all about art and creative, methods of expression. But I do think this is a really powerful thing. Again, that's just kind of to give you a wider scope of what the point of the project is. So it's more than just a film screening. I think it's meant to be a conversation about how we navigate ourselves and how we navigate who we are as people. And that's it. I'll stop the share.
Perfect. Well, is there I want to hear from SGA. How are you all feeling? Do you need more time to decide on this? More information? If not, I don't know if we can table this to next week's meeting, but if not, I just want to make sure you guys are good to go as well. I don't want you to make a decision now and, feel like, oh, it's a lot or it's not a lot. How does everyone feel on it?
It's the giving season. Why not? Let's do something. Let's give and make sure people get an opportunity to, I guess, understand mental health a little bit better. And I feel like this is something that SGA should be a part of and support, just because this is one thing that helps our students, and it's pretty important. And like how Kasten was saying earlier, like, mental health is serious and it's expensive getting the help that you need. So I feel like we can spare the amount, cover the amount, and allow students to have an opportunity to kind of learn a little bit more and maybe understand themselves a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Anyone else?
Hey,
on
Brian,
my end, yes.
one last thing, and just to provide context, y'all, just look at your agenda. I am asking that you all spend 32,000. That's not what you're going to spend, but that the potential amount that we may spend is $32,000 for giveaways, y'all, for tumblers, for t-shirts, for things that are going to be tangible items. And just don't get me wrong, these are wonderful, fabulous gifts that 1,000 of our students may potentially get. But when you think about 1,500, that's something that our entire student population potentially could take advantage of if they chose to attend the Zoom. I think it is for our math majors and our math experts on the line. I am certainly not one. I would argue it's quite a bargain that we're asking the SGA to fund. So just putting that in context, y'all, we're going to be giving away, I would argue, really kind of nice things, but not really super important in the grand scheme of mental health for this amount versus 1,500. So anyway, just something to provide context.
Yeah, I was going to talk about number two too.
As you should, Nick. As you should. I'm glad you're here, buddy.
Perfect. Well, what I'm going to go ahead and do, if you guys think you are good to go to make a voting position, please give me a thumbs up reaction. I would love to see your Zoom features be used. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. If you are not ready to make a decision, do not do a thumbs up. That way I know that you guys are good.
Do we send the message to you or just in chat?
Just like, you know, the reaction on the bottom, you know how you can like do a thumbs up or like do an applause, like this one right here. I just want to see what's the overall feel of you guys making a decision today. And I think so far, I think everyone looks like they're pretty good to go.
Also, Brian, if I may add, if there's a different motion than what's being, if anybody wants to provide a different motion, that's what's going to be approved here or denied, feel free to make a motion if you need something different than what's listed here on number 1. So if there is a different motion, please go ahead and make that at the moment.
Alrighty, perfect. Well, I'm going to go ahead and ask for you guys. Is there a motion to approve $1,500 to fund a Art with Impact Active Minds events, which will take place in the spring of 2021? Can I go ahead and get a motion?
Motion. All right, cast into motion. I'll second.
Perfect. Alrighty, and let's go ahead and do a roll call vote. Can I go ahead and get Stephanie? Stephanie, you can go ahead and take this away.
All right. So started off with Vice President of Menifee Valley Campus, Nicholas.
Nay.
Vice President of San Jacinto Campus, Victoria.
Yes.
Student Trustee Ariana, who is not present. Commissioner of College Activities, Janelle.
Yes.
Commissioner of Financial Affairs, Tracy, who is also not here. Commissioner of Institutional Effectiveness, Stephanie. I say yes. Commissioner of Student Equity and Cultural Affairs, Aaron.
Yes.
Senator of Financial Affairs, Thomas.
Yay.
Senator of Financial Affairs, Alexis.
Aye.
Senator of Public Relations, Daly.
Yes.
And Senator of Student Equity and Cultural Affairs, Caston.
I approve.
Okay.
Perfect. Alrighty, by a majority rule, then we have the first line item is approved. We are approving $1,500 to fund the Art with Impact Active Minds events, which will take place in spring of 2021. I do have 1 nay, I have 8 yes, and then 2 abstentions for this vote. Thank you so much. Moving on to our discussion and approval of funds not to exceed $32,000 for spring 2021 welcome drive-through giveaways. Maya, I don't know if you would like to go ahead and just provide some more information on the items that we hopefully requested in our last meeting, just to see how's that going.
Yeah, so I was actually going to pull up. So we got some quotes back. So here's the thing, y'all. You know, I'll just give you the context of why this amount is higher. So the reality is we absolutely can get bare bones, super cheap giveaway items. That is absolutely not a problem. We have multiple vendors that we work with that provide, you know, anywhere, I mean, from items that cost $1 to $3 to $10. And obviously the higher the cost, generally speaking, not always, but generally speaking, the higher the cost, the higher the quality, right? So it's not something that's going to break right away. It's not something that's going to look cheap. But the reality is certainly we can absolutely go with a much cheaper price. So that's why this cost is higher. I apologize, my wife's making coffee in the background, so if you guys hear that. But so I don't anticipate we will spend $32,000. The only reason I even put it that way was so that during the break, when I don't have access to you all to approve anything, I don't have to go back to you, right? So it's not going to be $32,000. I encourage us to always pad the amount that we approve when it comes to buying any type of item, no matter what it is you're spending money on, because inevitably costs are always going to change. And if we have to wait a full week before we get approval, that puts us down a lot or it puts us back rather, it delays us a lot in our timeline. It takes a long time to pay bills here, y'all, not just at this college, but at any public institution. I don't care what college you go to, because there's a lot of different protocols we have to follow. We have to make sure we have our quotes correct. We have to make sure that we get the PRs correct. And then once we get the PR correct, then it goes to purchasing. Then purchasing has to double check everything we've done, as they should. It's their job, to make sure also that we're spending your all's money correctly, right? And then finally, the order gets processed. And the order, when I say process, it gets placed with the vendor. So this is what Brian commented on in terms of the work that gets done behind the scenes. This is what we do as staff, right? So finally, after we've inputted everything, it goes to purchasing, they make the order through the vendor, and then they actually, the vendor says, yes, we've got your order, we're starting production. That whole process can take anywhere from 3, 4 to 6 weeks. It doesn't always take that long. I always hope to God that it doesn't, because that's a long time. But the reality is it might, and we have the holidays and COVID, everything is mucking everything up. So that is why I asked for this large amount, because I didn't want to have to go back to you all and get another approval, which would have frankly delayed everything just by weeks, right? Right now, we are, just to give you also an idea, so that you understand what we're trending towards, the event that we're hoping to fund, it's for specifically, we're not going to call it a spring 21 welcome drive-through. It's going to be a February drive-through, but we're not sure what we're going to call it quite yet. And certainly that's something we can develop with you all as a group as we get into January in your next meeting, or even the retreat, because ideally we'll actually start marketing this fairly soon. So I don't know that we'll be able to wait. We might have to just move forward, but so it's going to be on February 2nd and 3rd. So it'll be February 2nd, which is a Tuesday, and February 3rd, which is a Wednesday. And I'm not sure, Jose, if we even got far to which campus it was going to be on quite yet, but that's the date that we have now. But that's also tentative, y'all. I mean, COVID may frankly change that as well. We may have to push it even further back. We originally were going to do a January drive-through, but I thought about it and I proposed that we actually shift it back, because frankly of how bad the surge is supposed to get after the holidays. I'm hoping for the best, but I have to plan for the worst. And that's my job, is to offer that guidance to you all. But the reality is, if you've read any newspapers lately, any newspaper articles about what epidemiologists are expecting to happen, it does not look good. We're supposed to hit some pretty high numbers. So I didn't want to have to cancel anything. I just said, let's push it to February and cross our fingers and hope that we can still have a safe event for everybody. So on that note, I did get a quote back. However, this isn't, it's not let me share my screen with y'all. Okay, there we go. So let's see here. So these are some of the items. I'm not going to share the pricing quite yet. I just wanted to give you guys some items. So this is one of the items that we got back. So it was a potential coffee cup, really nice coffee cup that's stainless steel inside, it's not plastic. So you guys weren't, it's BPA, you won't have plastic inside the cup, which some folks are concerned about health and possible damage to reproductive organs when you have a lot of hot liquids touching plastic all the time, just so you know. So that's why I asked for a quote for something that's stainless steel that's on the inside. So that's one possible item. Brian, I know we talked about backpacks. These are super pricey, so I don't frankly know if this is going to be something you all, just this item alone is, if we get 1,000 of these, so again, it would be 1,000 quantity. This alone would, I think, put you right at the budget of 20,000, because I think it came under, hold on, I'm sorry, y'all. It came under, it was like $8 or $9, and I'll show you that for one of these. And this isn't even it's a decent quality. It's not super, it's not the cheapest one, but it's also not the most expensive one. Backpacks are just expensive. Let's see, another item. This is the mask. This mask is actually more expensive, but this is the mask that employees were given last year, or I'm sorry, in August, I guess. Suzanne, this is, so the mask it'll have the MSJC logo. In fact, I can show you that logo, but it's in my other file. But this is generally what the mask will look like. It'll just be black and have the MSJC logo on it.
And when you're opening the windows, you can't see it.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think my Zoom is all funky. So
It's
it
'cause
might
it's
be.
opening in a separate window. It wants you to reshare that window.
Oh, geez. Okay, hold
That's
on.
complicated.
Let me do a new share. So you saw this, right?
No.
There you go.
If
Okay.
open in a new window, we couldn't see it.
Okay. So this is the Tumblr that I was just talking about. And I can actually send this to you all. But the problem is, so that's one. Let me do a new share. Hold on. Oops. Can you see this? Or do I need to do a new share? I'm hearing
Yeah,
no.
we can see it.
Oh, you can? This?
I can see that much better. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the mask that we would be ordering. This mask is about almost $7. It was $9, so it's gone down by $2, which is nice. So that's one of the masks that we would be getting. It would be black and have the MSGC logo. And Suzanne, that looks about right. She told me this is the exact mask that we made.
Yeah. The one that we got had black trim and it was gray in the middle with the logo on it.
Yeah, that's what we'll have as well. All right, let me do another share. Yeah. I'm sorry, the way Zoom has this, it's like my stuff is all over the place. So here we go. And then this is a water bottle potentially that we would get. Let me see. Let me share this. Okay, do y'all see the water bottle?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is one of the water bottles. I ordered this water bottle when I was at Long Beach. It's a decent quality. It's not super cheap. It's not super expensive. It's meant to be a competitor to Nalgene water bottles. You know, those 32 hard plastic Nalgene water bottles. Stainless steel we could do as well. They're a little bit more expensive. These tend to be a little bit cheaper when they're plastic. So that's an option. So instead of getting the coffee tumbler, you potentially could get the coffee tumbler or this. I mean, or you could do both, but like I said, that would zero out your budget. We'd get to $20,000 pretty quickly. So that's that. Let me get back to, oh no. I'm sorry, y'all. This is like not helping me. Okay. Hand sanitizers. So can y'all see this or do I need to do new share? Share.
New share.
New share. Sorry about that. Okay. See that?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is your hand sanitizer, 2 ounces, little bottle. It'll have, it won't be full color. It'll be 2 color because that's cheaper. So it'll be, I think, black label with the white logo, MSJC logo in white. So you'd see that. And we potentially also could do, so our health center actually ordered hand sanitizers, I believe, from this vendor already, Dr. McAllister. So she already ordered. So my intention was just to order the exact same thing that she'd ordered, which I believe had the health center information on. We can change that text, which I think is going to be really helpful, right? People get hand sanitizer and then boom, the health center information. They can call, make an appointment, potentially see one of our therapists, or just get knowledge on or information on our flu clinics that we're having and any COVID testing that we're doing, that kind of thing. So that's that. And then I did get a quote for earbuds as well. Earbuds, again, are kind of pricey. I'll do a new share. They're also a little pricey. This one, I'll go over the cost. I just wanted to show you this first. See, these are Bluetooth. They're universal. They can work with any phone that has a Bluetooth channel or, Bluetooth capability. And the color, if you all didn't care, it was either going to be red or black, I figured. So this is what they look like. And generally, a lot of the headphones will look like this. Some of the more expensive ones that tend to want to look just like Apple Pods, Apple AirPods, they will have that same look, but they're super pricey. They're like almost $20 just to get like one. So this one, I think I'll have to look at the quote in a second. I'll show you, but that gives you an idea here. And then that's it. I think that's all I got quotes for. I did get a quote for another mask, but this mask is more expensive and it's not as, I'm sorry, it's cheaper, but it's not as good quality. I think it's a thinner ply. And I really wanted to get you all the same mask that the employees got last fall because everybody liked the employee masks. So, okay, so let me do a new share so y'all can see this quote. Can y'all see that? This quote?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. So as you can see, so this would be, this is the one the employees got $6.99. Like I said, it was cheaper. It was $9. So now it's almost $7. So for 1,000, it would be almost $7,000. But that's what these things cost. The earbud set that I showed y'all, this is about the medium price. We can go a little cheaper. Certainly we can go cheaper. However, those cheaper earbuds don't get quite as good reviews. Folks, they tended to break really quickly. And I wanted to get something that students could actually use for the semester and beyond, hopefully. So the hope was that these earbuds would actually last people and they wouldn't just break. So as you can see, so just getting, technically the earbuds and a mask almost puts you at what is that, guys, for my math majors? That puts us pretty close to 20,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not including taxes or anything else. So hand sanitizer is not too expensive. That's fairly doable. It's not only about 2,000. And then we have the tumbler, again, about $9. So that puts us at a pricey amount. Or the water bottle. The water bottle is a little cheaper. So we might want to go with the water bottle just because it's a little cheaper. It's not much. The backpack, again, you get a backpack and you get one other item is essentially, or, we hit that 30,000 mark and then you get 3 items. So that's kind of the question that I needed to ask you all, is what you all wanted to do. Because, we can go cheaper, or we can just not do the backpack. I honestly don't recommend the backpack. We have tote bags that we can give away. We have about 700 tote bags that we've saved and we're getting from other departments. So that's it. So what I'm proposing to you all is that we get the mask. So here's the good news. The mask actually, I'm going to tell you what the price is just because I think y'all should know. But the mask is actually going to be, I hope, is going to be funded through another budget item through CARES, the CARES for MSJC. We have access potentially to that, or we may get approval, I should say. I can't promise it, but I believe that Dr. Colson was able to chat with our business services folks to see if they might be able to provide the mask, pay for the mask, because it's obviously to protect folks from COVID. So that $7,000 we won't have to worry about, hopefully. Just as a heads up. So the mask, so really what you all are deciding is, do we want to give out earbuds? What else do we want to give? Do we want to give out earbuds? I like hand sanitizer. I think it's $2,000, not very expensive. I'm also going to ask if that can be part of the cost. So we also may get this funded as well. I can't promise it, but I'm going to ask. So earbuds, coffee traveler, or water bottle, or both, and maybe a backpack. And then there's also t-shirts that I have not got a price for, but I'm asking, that's the one item I don't have a quote for you all, but we can roughly guess what 1,000 costs. 1,000 t-shirts. We're hoping that we can get we're going to work with the foundation. I've requested the foundation that they support potentially 500 t-shirts, and maybe either all the t-shirts or maybe half the t-shirts for us. And so I'm hoping we can get a price of about $5. Can y'all see my calculator up here? No?
No.
You just see the quote. Okay.
You just see the quote.
Okay. So I'm hopeful that we can get a price of the t-shirts for $5, which would be $5,000. And if foundation splits that with us, then we'd only have to pay $2,500. I'm hopeful, but we'll see. We'll see what they're able to do, if they're able to support the full t-shirt cost. So I guess my question to you all is, number one, are you okay with approving that amount? Because that's what the amount would be to purchase these items. That's number one, because that's on your agenda. And then if you do approve it, what items do you want to prioritize? And then I will do my best to fulfill that prioritization. I can't promise though, because it's going to really come down to price and how much you guys really want these items to give out. So the first question is whether you are going to move to approve your agenda item that you have on your agenda. And then the second question is, what items do we want to prioritize? So they're really two separate questions, but I do think the first one is probably the most important because it's on your agenda for consideration.
Maya, may I go back to sharing the agenda?
Yes, let me stop share. There we go.
Perfect. And for those individuals, if you think you are pretty much good to go for a vote, can I have you do a reaction and a thumbs up? If you're not, you just do not do anything. We want to make sure that I can go ahead and see how many of you feel pretty good about it. Okay, Thomas, I don't know if that's good or not. Okay. So I see 3 individuals who say they're pretty good. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Thomas. 4 or 5. Oh, perfect. Alrighty. I think we're pretty good to go as well. I think maybe the backpack for me. I think it looks a little pricey too. Maybe we can use it as, purchase something else instead. Yeah, I like everything else though. I really love the tumbler. That's actually what called to me the most, honestly. But what does everyone else think?
I'll go too. I personally really like the headphones because I think the headphones are super good in this virtual environment. Even though, yeah, I feel like they're like pricier, but I feel like a nice pair of headphones for students will work really well. And then I agree with Brian. I personally love the tumbler. I'm a little biased because I like hot drinks over like water. But yeah, I loved the tumbler. It looks super nice, high quality, and stainless steel is very good instead of plastic. And then also the masks and the hand sanitizers are really good. I agree with the backpack thing too. I feel like we can get something like a tote instead of a backpack. I don't think a lot of students really need a backpack right now anyway. Like they're just at home with their computers. So I feel like all the other things will be more beneficial. I like the shirts too. Thank you, Maya, by the way.
I think the headphones are important.
Yeah, I agree. I think all the other materials are fine, except for the backpack. Like Daly said, we are at home, so we won't be using it as much.
Hmm. And what do you guys feel about having both the water bottle and the tumbler, or just having one?
I like the water bottle. I seem like the only one here, but water is good for you. It makes you happy. Don't judge me.
I mean, I'm the same way, Caston. I'm the same way. Like, yeah, do we have to? I was gonna ask that too. Do we have to choose one or?
So
Totally up to you guys.
Yeah, so I'll just comment on this. So here's, I guess, what I can do is I would ask in this, Brian can send this to me or somebody else can send this to me. So one, you want to vote on this amount, right? So we want to figure out if this is an okay amount. You guys are okay with it. If we are and you approve, then I would ask that you just send me a list, Brian, and I would ask probably sooner than later because I've got to order this stuff. I've got to work with a team to order it. That we do like kind of a first priority, like this is for sure what we want, and then second, third, fourth, right? So if I see like a list, so I'm going to assume that we're good with the masks because we're going to probably get them paid for. So let's just kind of not consider the mask. I would also say that for the hand sanitizers too, because it's a relatively low, it's $2,000. We can afford $2,000 for hand sanitizer. And I'm hopeful we can get some of that sponsored as well. So forget about those two items. So really it's just your t-shirt as well. I think the t-shirt, I feel pretty good about getting some kind of sponsorship, either from the foundation or it sounds like from the last event, even if we don't get sponsorship, that's something that students really liked and really wanted. But this is your money, y'all. And I wasn't at the event. So if we feel like we'd rather if we don't get sponsorship from, the foundation and we end up having to pay that $5,000 or $6,000 for a t-shirt, is that something you all really care about? Do you think we'd rather give a tumbler, a water bottle, right? And the earbuds. So those three items, because if you get those three items and we don't get a t-shirt, that's going to put us right at our limit. We'll probably have a little wiggle room, but that's going to put us at close to $30,000 just getting the earbuds, tumbler, and water bottle. Those three items. So, and that'd be no t-shirt. Best case scenario, foundation covers the cost of the t-shirt, and we can then we'd have wiggle room to get those three items. If I can, again, to get you close to that 32. I'll be honest, I was hoping not to spend the full 32. That was kind of my emergency fund. But if you all really want us to do this, we can do it. I mean, you have the budget right now. It's a nice thank you. It's a nice quality item. I think students, I would want one of these bags and I'm an adult. I could have, I mean, y'all are adults too. Forgive me. Lo siento. I'm not saying that you all aren't adults, but you know what I mean? I can afford my mind, whatever. Yeah. So
I forget that we're all adults. Whoa.
Me too.
You're an adult to your adult. That's what I tell my parents. An adult to your adult.
I like that.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think so far I think we should approve or me, I think you guys should approve the 32,000 just to be safe. Just like Maya said, I don't think we'll be spending those 32,000. But I do think that it's important to make sure that we can at least have those funds approved. That way we're set in stone, and that way I can get a list from all of you on what you think is the most priority items for you all. That way I can go ahead and have Maya as well, send that out. But what do you guys think about having both the water bottle and the tumbler? Because I want to make sure that we can get something organized there. Do you guys think we should have both or just have one?
Yeah, I'm also on board with both. I don't mind. I think it's a nice little gift to give to everybody, and I know people would really appreciate it.
Okay. Perfect. Well, I'm gonna go ahead. Do you guys have any other questions that you all have to ask or anything at all before I have you guys go ahead and take action on this one? Going once. Going
You know
twice.
what? I
Yes.
kind of do.
Okay, go
I think
ahead.
it's nice to include hand sanitizer, but I feel like it's not really a necessity. I mean, yeah, I get the situation, but it's like personally, I have like so many hand sanitizers in my home or with me, and I feel like some people are similar to me and they also have the same amount, if not more or less. But I don't think hand sanitizer should be something that we give out. Like, it's thoughtful. It makes sense as to why, but I don't think we should do hand sanitizer.
All right, perfect. No worries. I'm gonna go ahead and collect a list of what you all think we should prioritize. I'm definitely thinking that the mask is pretty much good to go. The tumbler, I think you guys all like the tumbler, so I think the tumbler is also one of the priority items, as well as the t-shirts. I would have to agree with you as well. Maybe the hand sanitizers, even though it's not really much of a cost, I do think that definitely makes sense. And I also don't want you guys to feel like, oh, we're gonna have to spend $2,000 on just hand sanitizers. So I totally agree. If you guys don't want to push for that, we don't have to. But I would love to have at least this amount approved. That way we can at least go ahead and just see what items we're going to go ahead and push forward with. Any other questions, comments, or concerns?
We should just like focus on the what's it called, the masks, because COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really think we should do like other stuff, but yeah, it's just me again.
Perfect. Thank you, Thomas. Alrighty, guys. Well, if
that was Nick.
Yes.
It was Nick, Brian.
It was
okay.
Nick.
I was
It was Nick.
I was like, who is that? Okay.
Poor Thomas.
Perfect. Alrighty. Well, if there are no other comments, questions, and concerns, I will like to have a motion for approval of funds not to exceed $32,000 for spring 2021 welcome drive-through giveaways. Can I go ahead and get a motion?
Motion.
A second.
Okay. And a second by Janelle, correct?
Yes.
Perfect. Alrighty. Stephanie, go ahead and take it away with a roll call.
Okay, we have Vice President of Menifee Valley Campus, Nicholas.
Nay.
Vice President of San Jacinto Campus, Victoria.
Approved.
Student Trustee Ariana, who is not here. Commissioner of College Activities, Janelle.
Yes.
Commissioner of Financial Affairs, Tracy, who is also not here. Commissioner of Institutional Effectiveness, Stephanie. I say yes. Commissioner of Student Equity and Cultural Affairs, Aaron.
Yes.
Senator of Financial Affairs, Thomas.
Yes.
Senator of Financial Affairs, Alexis. Is she on the call?
Yes, she should be. Alexis. Okay, we'll go ahead and do an abstention. She's not answering right now.
Okay. Senator of Public Relations, Daly.
Approve.
Senator of Student Equity and Cultural Affairs, Caston.
She mentioned in the chat she had stepped away, so she may not be back.
Okay, and then I did see Alexis did approve, so I'll remove her abstention into approval. And Catherine, I'll go ahead and have her listed under abstention for right now. So we have 1 nay, 7 approved, and 3 abstentions right now. So by majority rule, we will approve 32,000, hopefully not to exceed, for the Spring 2021 Welcome Drive-Through giveaways. Thank you, guys. Moving on to our third line item, which is discussion on creating an
Sorry, Brian, one last thing.
message for our students. Yes.
Just
Yes,
one
Maya.
last. So in that inclusion of the items that y'all want to prioritize, I need that pretty soon. So if we can get that, if you can get that to me like today, that would be great. And so the options, Brian, just so you can note it, it's the t-shirt, if that's something you all want to prioritize, the tumbler, the water bottle, the earbuds, hand sanitizer, and mask. So these are just all the items that I got quotes for. I'm hearing that the backpack wasn't even something y'all really want to move forward with. So you can include that if you want, but those are the lists that I heard support for. Because we don't have to get t-shirts. I mean, again, y'all, this is your money. So if you all would rather, get all of the items minus the t-shirt, then I won't go to the foundation and ask them to fund t-shirts. I'll ask them to fund something else that you all want, to help support us, right? And again, it's their prerogative whether they want to help sponsor as well. So, okay. All right, Brian. So hopefully y'all can send me something by, if you want the weekend, I don't know if you guys are actually going to, I imagine you want to think about other things over the weekend, but I won't do anything with the order today. I'll realistically Monday morning, I'll start working on it more. So if you can get it to me by Monday morning, that would be the best. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. I will definitely have that ready for you. And Caston, I just want to make sure, just real quick before I go ahead and move on, I listed you as an abstention just because you weren't present during our roll call, but I just want to know, would you like to approve or disapprove or stay as an abstention for the 32,000?
I approve. Sorry about that. I had to step out.
Perfect. No worries. Thank you, Caston. Alrighty, moving on to the third line item on discussion on creating an SGA message for our students for the Welcome Week. I know this is something that Caston brought up in our last meeting, and I haven't really had a chance to work on a message. So I'm not sure if Caston, you had anything as well in regards to this line item, but I think it's a great idea that we should push for no matter what. Even as we look upon whether we push the drive-through more. But I still think we still have a lot of time to think about this one, but I did want to have it on the agenda.
Yeah, could we come back to this like another day? And I will definitely, I have a bunch of ideas, but I want to write them down just so they're a little more organized.
Yeah, no worries.
Something that just to throw out there, maybe we could do like, what I'm thinking is like next semester on, have like an SGA newsletter. And like we could have encouragement, like an encouragement section, and then some announcements, and then like an SGA recruitment section, just like stuff like that. What do you guys think? That was kind of my main idea.
Yeah, perfect. I think this is definitely something that we can talk about as well as in our winter retreat.
Mm-hmm.
So I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. I think it's a really cool and fun idea. And yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, maybe we could like discuss this in the retreat.
Yeah.
If I could
go ahead.
Yeah, so we originally wanted on the agenda to talk about today only because we were planning to have these welcome drive-throughs in January. We needed to have things printed while you guys were gone on break. So now that we're not doing that and we can do some kind of maybe digital and welcome message to students on our website, or if you guys want to create a newsletter, we can definitely discuss this more in the winter retreat because we have a little more time.
Oh, now my brain, I'm so sorry, everyone. My brain totally went to like another type of message. Now I know what you guys mean. I am so sorry. I apologize. But what I was thinking for that, we could have like an inspiring quote and just have it like in a shape of a square. Like we could print like 8 or 4 on a page and at the print shop, and we could just have like an encouraging note, even just in the bag, just to know that you're cared for and loved. It could be as simple as that.
Yeah, and that's what we had talked about before, Caston. I think you're the one that mentioned it before too. So yeah, we can definitely talk about the winter retreat. We're not in as much of a rush to get things printed before January. So
cool.
Definitely. Alrighty, perfect. Well, I'll go ahead and have this line item in our future semester, and I'll have it probably in our first or in our winter retreat. We could probably discuss this more in detail. But if there are any other questions or concerns on this one, I'll go ahead and move on to our fourth line item, which is a discussion on grad gift ideas for 2021 graduates. I believe this is something that we had also talked about in whether it was last week or 2 weeks ago in our meeting about ideas that we could possibly get for our graduates. What I was thinking, I do have some notes written down on that one. I was thinking things that we could possibly do virtually as well that maybe we could give. And I was thinking it would be cool. I'm not sure how much it is, but I was like, you know what, maybe we can put it out there. So some ideas that I wrote out, whether it was having a Disney Plus or Netflix membership, a Amazon Prime subscription, because I know that definitely helps as well, a class of 2021 ceramic mug, a tumbler as well, just like Maya had shown, which I thought they were really nice, a 2021 graduation frame or a tassel frame. But those are some of the ideas that I thought of. I don't know. What do you guys think of? What are you guys thinking?
Before we throw out ideas, I just want to give some guidance a little, just so you have an idea of what's possible. So we originally, one of the suggestions was to do like a t-shirt and do class of something t-shirt. The only issue with t-shirts that, I think is a valid concern is the issue of sizing and having to find out folks' sizes. Certainly, I was actually thinking if we did want to do some type of t-shirt, we could do a fundraiser. So we can do a grad gift, right? Like we pay for a grad gift for the folks that actually choose to walk. And then we can also, and that's the other thing, it's expensive to mail things, y'all. And it's also expensive because of COVID, we just don't know where we're going to be in May. I mean, we're all really hopeful, but the reality is it's going to take a long time to get the vaccine really truly out and about. So we may be in this kind of current state of back and forth, right, of how many folks can come on campus and not. Even into May and even the summer, frankly, I think we might even be there in the summer, but we can be optimistic for sure. My whole point is I would really caution us to do anything that's going to be super. I would caution us to just provide a grad gift for the folks that actually choose to walk, because that's 2,000 folks that potentially have the option of graduating. So it's a lot of money to buy something for. That's twice the amount of what I just asked you all for. You probably will have that in your budget, right? So if we're going to spend something like $32,000 now, it would be about that cost, which is a pretty significant cost. I think. I don't know that I advise you all to do that for the full 2,000. I think for the folks that actually choose to participate in the graduation ceremony, I think that's a more realistic way to honor the grads. And that's usually a much smaller number. And so then the folks who actually participate in what we're calling the grad drive-throughs right now, we could potentially just give them their gift then. Because it would be, I think if I recall, Selena, they're in the process of planning, but it would kind of be like almost like not a parade, but there would be stations that cars could stop at. And so that would be, I think, a good opportunity for us. So I think if you wanted to do a t-shirt, do a fundraiser, that's an easy thing we can set up with the foundation, or I shouldn't say easy, but it is we can definitely work it out. That might be something cool because then we can still fundraise, right? Y'all still need money. I mean, we have some money, but there's not, it's not like it's unlimited. So we can talk more about that, I think, Brian. So we probably want to add that maybe to the agenda as an item if that's what y'all really want to do. So t-shirt fundraiser for graduation. So graduates that want a class of 21 t-shirt can buy maybe one for $10. It costs us $5 to purchase the t-shirt and get them printed. So we make a $5 profit, which is not, I think, horrible, something like that, or $15, something like that. So that's one option. And then in terms of what y'all decide to give away, I like the tumbler idea. That's fairly easy for us to purchase, right? We get about maybe 1,000 of those. We're already going to do that potentially for this drive-through event. You can also do a ceramic mug, but certainly you all may not be much fans of ceramic part. So maybe you like, better the traveler part. So those are just some options that just to think about. So we wouldn't be funding for the full 2,000. It would be just for, I would probably say maybe about 1,000, but we won't know for sure. We won't know that number until we get closer to spring.
Yes, thank you, Maya. Any questions, any ideas that you guys are thinking? I think the Tumblr, to be honest, would be just a pretty good idea. I think it's pretty simple as well. And I think it would be best to, as well, just like how Maya said, just to have it for those graduates that are participating, because shipping does cost a lot. And it would be, it's not hard, but it is a difficult process to make sure that we can have it shipped to all graduates. So I would also express that same idea. But anything else that you guys possibly want to add? I know we still have a lot of time to think about this, but I did want to have it on the agenda just to see what you guys overall feel. Alrighty, well, if you guys have anything else that you guys want to go ahead and let me know, just go ahead and send me a message. But I'll probably have this again, probably as an agenda item in the beginning of the semester as well for spring. But if there's not anything else, I'll go ahead and move on to our discussion and on relief fund essay readings. I believe Jose wanted me to have this on the agenda. I don't know if you would like to add some info on that one.
Yes, thank you, Brian. So I spoke with Rebecca this week, I think it was on Thursday, and she mentioned that she could have these essay or the relief fund application out by the end of this week, which would be today. I kind of want to follow up and see if that's going to happen or if it's going to be Monday, but I suspect it may be Monday, December 7th through the 13th. So giving the students 7 days to, apply for those relief fund applications. So here's the thing that I really need help with, SGA, with this task is once we have those applications in, we need to figure out a time to work with all of you to read those essays. This kind of stinks because I know after next week it's finals. So, I'm kind of conflicted, but this is just something that needs to get done. So I really need all of your help when it comes to just picking out a day that will work best. Just tentatively scheduling something that will work best for hopefully everyone, or at least a majority of you. So if you can help me with that, I'm going to send you all an email requesting your schedule for finals in 2 weeks. Please respond to that email so that I can kind of figure out a tentative date where we can all meet and just have a working meeting to read these essays. So that's just something I really need your help with. And I mean, the goal was for all of you to take a look at these, right? Just to be fully transparent, this is something that you all worked so hard to accomplish and to put together. And I certainly want to give you all the opportunity to award these students with funds, right? Those that are most in need. So I'll just say that. So just be on the lookout for that email. I'll send out later today. Any questions? Comments, concerns?
Could we do a day over the break?
So Maya, did you want to chime in or say anything?
Yeah, I'm fine with, so I guess I have a few comments. So let me ask the group, whose idea was this to offer? And this is just a question because I'm
Tracy, right? It was Tracy's.
So yeah, I think Tracy or FA, right, committee had the idea.
Okay.
And then it just kind of, we kept planning from there.
And who improved it though? Like to move forward with it? Because Tracy's just one commissioner, right?
So SGA approved. It's in old minutes. So,
okay.
Right, Brian, do you recall that? I'm 99% sure, we approved these things.
I think we all approved the idea of just meeting together and reading through the applications and hopefully selecting, those awardees, but we didn't really put much planning into a date specifically.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm fine with, y'all doing it. So the break for UCASN means something different than it does to us. The only time the college is technically closed is I think Christmas Eve until New Year's Day. Other than that, we're open, staff work. So unless staff are taking vacations, they're pretty much on the clock and working. So unless Jose or Maricel, I mean, Jose's the advisor for this committee. So really it's Jose that's the one that can answer whether or not he's available or not. I certainly support anything Jose is going to, be available for. So Jose, I'll let you answer that. And certainly you don't necessarily have to answer that right now, right? In a meeting, that can be something you email out to the group. I will just say though, that this isn't all Tracy's responsibility, y'all. Like, this is what it means to be part of SGA. So, I would ask that unless you all can agree on a date, and if folks aren't showing up to that, so it cannot just be Brian and Tracy. We need to have at least, I would ask for 5 members. I mean, I honestly, my instinct is to say we need a majority of y'all. And if we don't have a majority, well, then we don't do it. We kick it till spring. And if y'all don't do it in spring, well, then we just don't do it. And then of course, when questions come, well, what is SGA doing to support SGA students, purchasing the $7 sticker? Well, then that's something you all will have to answer for. But, this is part of being an SGA, right? This is part of being a student leader and committing. This is also part of, understanding that if things come up, right? Because y'all are human, y'all are students, and you're navigating quite a bit. It's also okay. It's also okay to say that we can't do this, Maya or Jose, or Tracy or whoever, right? But it's just part of communication. That's all. We want you to communicate. We want you to think about what you're approving. So understand, every time the SGA collectively agrees to do something, it's not on Brian and it's not on the person that put it on the agenda. It's all on each and every one of you all. So just remember that every time you approve something for an effort that y'all want to do. So anyway, all that to say, we support you and we'll be here for you. But at the end of the day, we've definitely got to have you all doing this work. It's not Jose's job to do it. It's your job.
Definitely. And I want to make sure that I feel like doing it over the break would be great, but I want to be respectful of everyone's time as well. I think we all need a time off as well, just to relax and re-energize ourselves. So I would like to hopefully do it within the next 2 weeks, as Jose mentioned. Please check your email when he sends out that email. I would love to do this as soon as possible. And have as many SGA members, at least 5, be present within those essay readings. But I would love to not do it during the break, just because I want to also just respect everyone's time, everyone's vacation, as well as the advisors, because I know that they're doing a lot behind the scenes as well. And I want to make sure that we all take responsibility and we do our part as well as SGA members. So I'm hoping we can choose a date before the break.
Brian, can I ask, what does the break mean for you? Because the break means something different for you than it does for us. Like when you say the break, I'm thinking when the colleges close, which for us is December 24th, technically. But even then, some people work on Christmas Day. So
I consider my break December 18th. That's our last day of finals.
Okay.
And we don't have any more instruction after that. So I would love to hopefully try to do something before. I know if it doesn't work with everyone's availability, then I would be glad to do it over the break, but I want to be respectful and mindful of everyone else, especially during this time. But hopefully we can work something out within the next 2 weeks for sure.
So if I can quickly just add, so yeah, even after the 18th is fine. I am good up until the 24th. So technically I have until the 24th. So maybe this doesn't have to be during finals. Maybe it's on the 21st, the 22nd, I just wanted to mention that.
Perfect. Any questions, comments, anything for Jose? Alrighty, so please, when Jose sends that email, I'm going to make sure, yes.
I'm sorry, Brian. Can we just come up with some dates right now? So since we have everyone together, because this is the last formal meeting, I just want to get this on the calendar, y'all. We've got a plan. And this is your job as students to plan too, right? So let's just do this.
I'm going to say December 18th. I don't think I'll have a final that day. And I think it's the last day for everyone as well. I know it's on a Friday, but I feel like that's been working the best for all of us just to be attending these meetings. I'm already used to the schedule, so I think it would be best for everyone as well. I see Thomas, he also said next week. We have our free mini meeting next week, so I really don't want to do any work, but I would love to do something maybe on the 18th or just the week of that one. Personally, for me, I'm not really too busy on finals. If we do like December 18th, I feel like it would be probably the same time we have our meetings. I don't think, the 8 a.m. and the 9 a.m. did not work this semester, so I would not want to do that, especially if we're reading essays. So I think 10 a.m. Yeah, 10 a.m. But I'm not sure. What do you guys think? Not at all. Okay.
Jose, just to clarify, so it closes on the 13th, and then Rebecca can get all the submissions to us by the next day, by
with like early, yeah, maybe within the first day or two, maybe the first day. It just depends, I guess how many applicants she has.
So it'll have to be the week of the 14th. We'll get the.
Yeah, so we should get info that week, the week of the 14th.
And ideally, I would think that we'd want to give these to you in advance for you all to read, and then, that we'll have a scoring sheet of some kind, and then that meeting will just be to discuss how you scored, and if there's any ties, we break ties. So it shouldn't be too involved. We're not going to be just sitting there silently all reading.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. I can just imagine just all of us, just looking at the screen and just being quiet and reading, and that would be so hilarious. But yeah, I think it'll definitely work on December 18th. Just the same time we have our meetings from 10 to 12. I think that's a perfect solid day, especially for advisors. And Jose, I think I'm hoping that fits your schedule as well, if we had a typical SJ meeting as well.
Yeah,
Just
we can.
sure.
Oh,
sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
Just to make sure, that is finals week. So as long as you guys are able to read through all those essays that week and study for your finals and do all that, then, if you want to do that, then that's fine. But just be aware that it'll be extra work for you that week if you're already working on studying and stuff.
So just also, I'm sorry, because
No,
I just want to offer this too, so that I'm reminded. How long was the actual limit, Jose, of what? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thanks, Daly. Yeah, how many? What's the length of the essays and how many?
It's 2 questions, 350 each, so 700 words total. Yeah.
So what is that? A page? I don't know. It's been so long since I wrote.
It's like a page.
It's like a page.
So. Like a page.
Okay. And it's $100 thing that folks are applying for, $100 amount. So even if we got 10 applicants, which to be honest with you, we don't get a lot of applicants for any of our, well, I shouldn't say this. We just don't get, it's not like we get, hundreds of applicants, I would argue. It just really depends on how much we've promoted this. And Jose, how long have we actually promoted this, or where is the flyer for promotion that this is even available?
So this, there isn't a flyer for this. Rebecca made it seem like she was going to do a lot of the marketing or just sending the emails to the faculty. So it just come out through an email, but we can certainly create something really quick
with her, because I do know that, that isn't necessarily been, my understanding is the foundation doesn't necessarily do that marketing for us. They may help like by sending one email, but it's not really their responsibility, right? It's whoever's sponsoring the actual. So, I didn't realize that. I thought that this had already been, I'm a little concerned, y'all, honestly. I'm concerned that Suzanne brings up an excellent point. That's a lot to put on y'all. And so I want to uphold standards for you all, and I want to provide you all structure as your advisor, so that you're learning, right? And sticking to what you say you're going to do. But y'all also are going through some stuff right now. I acknowledge that. And I would hate to disappoint students. Have we already started marketing this, Jose?
No, not yet.
Okay. I'm wondering if we might not just hold tight and still go through with the marketing and still see what applicants we get, right? Like, I think we should still do it because we still want to provide an opportunity in case students are really, really like, man, I need this money, which I suspect folks are, of course, because it's hard right now. But I'm wondering if we want to also market in the spring as well, right? And maybe create an additional deadline so that way we're providing opportunity to market to students other than just this short 2-week time span. Because remember, what's our general rule for anything is 4 weeks, right? We want to market for 4 solid weeks. So this doesn't really give us that that time to do that.
So then Maya, and if SJ is okay with it, so then should I just email Rebecca and tell her to just hold off on releasing it next week?
I don't know. I mean, that's a question.
Or make it, or extend the deadline, like you said, till like mid-January or something.
I'm just concerned. I mean, we've been through this before with not just this group, but with all, I mean, it's just y'all, I know you're tired, y'all. Like
Yeah, I agree. I mean, seems like a lot, you know, for a short window.
But at the same time, I'm torn because I do think students are going to really need the money for spring, right? To pay
Right.
for,
yeah.
Brian, what do you think?
I think that we should still push through. I still think that students need the money, whether it's $100 or $200. I think $100 definitely makes a difference. And I think that as SGA leaders, we really should take ownership of our job. We should really, you know, be SGA leaders. We're here for the students, and I definitely think that we need to make the time to read these essays and you know, hopefully approve these funds for them. I definitely think we should. I would be, you know, disappointed if we don't, because we've been trying to, you know, get this together throughout the whole semester, and I would hate for us not to, you know, release funds for our students at least this semester, you know, for them. But I mean, I totally, you know, respect everyone's position. I mean, I know that you guys are also stressing with finals, and I know these are difficult times as well. But I want to make sure that I would love to push this through. And I definitely think maybe we can do a roll call vote on how everyone feels, and then, you know, go from there as well.
So one more comment, just so everybody's crystal clear. So we're talking about releasing this application on Monday, which is the 7th, having it close on what day, Jose?
So the 13th,
So 1 week.
Yeah.
So 1 week. So mind you, the rest of the students are also struggling for finals, right? And they're also going to be studying. And so then they're going to be tasked with writing a 1-page, which granted, don't get me wrong, this might be easy for some students. I don't know. So, you know, my advice to y'all is to do whatever you all think is best. Just understand, you know, we may not get a ton of applicants, right? So I would definitely advise you all to, like Brian said, maybe push forward, but also think about extending the application deadline, or rather closing it this semester and then opening it back up for January. Or what you could do actually is not even have a deadline and just release it on Monday, right? And say priority, you know, folks who apply by the 13th or whatever that original deadline was. I guess the 13th, was it the 13th, Jose? Right?
Yeah.
So, you know, so mention in the marketing email, which again, Jose, I don't think that, I think Rebecca pushes it out once, but I don't think she's going to be doing much more. That's not her job. That's not her responsibility.
Yeah, no, we can certainly market, you know, we create something really quick and blast it on social media, and for sure we'll have more students that way. Yeah, absolutely.
So maybe just say priority goes to students who, you know, apply by the 13th. You'll have funds available potentially, you know, for the start of spring. Anyone else can continue to apply. Your funds just may not be available until, so that means you'll have to extend another deadline. Maybe you extend the deadline till, well, you have one deadline and then you have a deadline in January. I'm not really sure. Suzanne, Maricela, any thoughts? Or student thoughts?
I was thinking.
I have a. Oh, sorry.
I'll go, Alexis. You go first.
So I just have a thought. So you know how we're like on crunch time with this. Maybe we could like ask some of our teachers to put an announcement so that other students know. Because I'm taking 5 classes right now, and I could just tell every one of my teachers like, oh, hey, we're having a refund application if anyone wants to apply, and then just make an announcement. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's a good idea as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's definitely a way to reach more students, because everyone's in Canvas. Even if faculty just makes an announcement in their Canvas shells, I think that'll definitely reach more students. I was going to agree with Maya. I think either option, if we want to just have it open and have an initial deadline and then, you know, have a second deadline, or we open, close in the spring. Open now and open again in the spring. So whichever you guys feel is best.
Definitely. Yeah, I think we'd, like Maya said, I feel like we should probably extend the deadline. I feel like maybe 1 week is not enough time. Maybe just give that priority, registration, priority to those students that do apply with, till the 13th, but then have that application open still. I think that would be best as well, because I just feel like maybe 1 week is not enough, and I do feel like maybe students do have, other things to, you know, to busy their mind with, and I'm not sure if 1 week is enough time. But what does everyone else think? I wanted to make sure we have something solid, at least, now, since we are ending almost the end of the meeting as well.
I think that we should maybe hold off till the spring, honestly, just because it's holiday season and students are doing finals themselves. So if we're busy, they're gonna be busy, you know?
I feel like we can do this in time for the next semester for students. And I am so on board with helping out, like with reading the essays and going through and like siphoning through all this and handling all the busy work. It's just I don't know my schedule yet, so that's the thing. But I want to make it work because the students deserve it, and I feel like the students need it. So that's why I've been a little quiet, is because I just don't know what my schedule is going to look like and how that's going to work right now. But as soon as I find out, I'm going to let you guys know, and I want to be a part of this. I want to help, you guys through this process, so it's not just all laboring on your guys' backs.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that most of us are pretty much okay with, pushing through and finding a day to read these essays, but I just don't think that we have our availability set. Overall, from what I saw, I think everyone is good to go for the 18th. But I'm not sure, what other dates may be possible, because I think everyone's availability is it's not really solid. But I'm hoping maybe on the 18th we can probably go ahead and discuss all together. For those of you that can come in, the same time we would have our SJ meeting at 10 o'clock. I don't think it'll last till 12. But definitely just trying to, get together and really talk about this. I would love to push through, as Victoria said. We're here for students, and I think our students really deserve our time as well, in these essay readings. So I would go ahead and push forward, but I'm hoping everyone else is okay with it. Or if everyone else has any other discussion that they would like to bring up, this is your chance.
Yeah, I'll definitely be free to. Oh, more than likely, I of course can't guarantee everything, but I'm not working currently, and all my classes are out anytime right now. So I'll definitely be able to help no matter what decision we make. So I'll definitely be able to participate.
Alrighty. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and just overall get you guys together. I'll message you, and then that way I can go ahead and let Jose know one of the dates when it's best. But I definitely think that we shouldn't really close it on the 13th as well. And is there anything else anyone would like to add before I go ahead and move on? Alrighty, moving on to our continued discussion on winter retreat dates. I believe the last time we were talking about this, we mentioned about having those retreat dates. I believe the week that school started I believe we start school on the 19th, and I think that meeting is on give me 1 second, let me pop up my calendar. It's having it on the 22nd and then the 29th, having on 2 separate days, about like 4 hours each. But I'm hoping maybe we can discuss this more. But I know that our meeting is about to end. But is everyone pretty much okay on those dates, or do we need more discussion on that one?
What dates are they again?
January 22 and the 29th. All right. Well, if there are no discussion points for this one, I'll go ahead and move on as well. I want to make sure that we respect everyone's time. I know that our meeting is about to end in just a few minutes. I'll move on to the next line item, which is discussion on student activism seminar. Any points anyone wants to bring in for Maya? Alrighty, moving on to agenda items. I don't think we'll have anything else, but I'll definitely get in contact with you all in regarding to having a priority list as well as just the dates possible for those essay readings. But if there's not anything else, I'll go ahead and adjourn this meeting at 11:58 a.m. Thank you guys so much for attending our meeting.